Hello and welcome back everyone, I am the Dragooner, and today we're looking at some more of HomeStory Cup's upper bracket quarterfinals. Playing Terran in the bottom left on day to C, it's GuMiho. And his opponent, on the right, playing Protoss, is Neeb. Now, GuMiho has decided to actually make the early game interesting for once, sending his SCV out right away. So, what's he up to? Oh, wow, this guy, he's going all the way in there. That's a very close proxy there. Neeb is not looking that way. As a matter of fact, he's more worried about the Reaper sneaking in the side of his base than through the front door on this one, and got the two refineries going up. Only one barracks for now. Supply depot. Probe's gonna get in there and begin asking some questions rather quickly, I think. Gets in, sees two gases, and doesn't see a barracks. Could be in that corner there, but he knows it isn't now. And yep, I think he's spotted it now. Seen the SCV. Only one barracks though, so not critical end of the world. But yeah, he's gonna have to get a zealot. He's gonna really have to chrono that adept out when he's done. What's this probe gonna get up to out here now? Well, the barracks is going down, so that's going to not be ideal. And here comes the Reaper. Heads straight up the ramp. Begins making a nuisance of himself and running away from this zealot. Gets a probe. Gets a second. That's to be expected when you do this sort of proxy. Probe chases off the SCV. We've got a second Reaper in the bunker. Oh, sorry, it's a Marine in the bunker. We've got a Stalker. Not really going to be able to do anything on his own, but keeps loading Marines into that bunker now. So, got two Marines and an SCV in there. Three Marines. Yeah. Got the Reaper, he's got some Marines. Doesn't quite manage to get the SCV there. Shield battery going up, that's gonna make things a little bit easier. Zealot goes in. Zealot goes down. It's turning out a bit awkward here. SCV goes down. Gonna get the bunker now, but he's lost a fair bit here. Definitely lost more than GuMiho has, who still hasn't moved the barracks, but I'm sure that'll happen in a second. And wow, he's just proxying everything. That Stargate is an awfully long way out, especially just to be building medevacs. I'm guessing we'll drop a few Hellions into the base, just to make things a bit more difficult. That's definitely slowed down Neeb's tech quite a bit there. He's just gonna pick up 3 Hellions, head for the main. Stargate's gonna make its way back. Hellions, roast a probe, roast several probes, and gets picked up by the medevac here. Gonna head for the natural. More probes having to evacuate, but okay, he does manage to get them away this time. And heads the back, he's heading back into the main. But with Stalkers here, yeah, and the Phoenix, I think this is going to have to leave pretty soon. Try and unload those. You'll get the Hellions out before the Phoenix is able to kill anything. But, nonetheless, barracks is finally making its way back to base. More barracks go down. Siege tanks pumping out now. Got the second orbital going down. Got the engineering bay. And if we look at the units at this point, looking similar. But 2 tanks is a bit better than 2 stalkers. So we'll have to see where this ends up. He's getting a good scout there, so he'll know roughly what he's up against at this point. Seeing the production, seeing the tanks. Couple more barracks going up. His Phoenix is running around, picking up Hellions. Finishes that one off. Still producing more Phoenixes here. It's going to be up to 4 in a second. Twilight finishing up, getting his 3rd base. GuMiho pushing out here with almost as many tanks as he has Marines. If he's got the energy, he can probably just kill all those Marines with the Phoenixes. Not sure he has quite enough energy to make that work though. GuMiho just opening up the middle of the map. Gonna keep on pushing through here. I wonder how far that's actually going to go. He's got the tanks. He's got a Viking. He probably can just push through. That's not enough stalkers to really deal with that very effectively. So don't forget, Vikings deal 20 damage per attack on the ground to stalk pretty much everything the Protoss has that isn't a Zealot. So yeah, some more Zealots coming out now, but the Zealots aren't terribly good against Marines. GuMiho making way back now. Ooh, picks off one, just the one Phoenix there. He's got them SCVs here as well. I think you're not going to bring SCVs across if you're not planning on making some sort of push. The Medevacs finally catching up with the army. He's just pumping Marines off of 4 racks now. Got Stim, he has Combat Shield. Got +1 attack as well, whereas Neeb's got he's got Charge here. Yep, that's the boys on their way in. It's going to be tricky to hold here, especially now those tanks are seat. Oh, but the tanks gets picked up, but they fall again. These Marines, the SCVs, well, a lot of the SCVs are dead now, but Neeb forced to sit outside of tank range here, and yes, he manages to pick up a couple, and yes, that's a lot of damage, but these Phoenixes are starting to go down. Stalkers are getting picked off here. These Marines are almost dead from Stim, and there's no Medevacs left. There might be one. No Medevacs at all left now. GuMiho, yeah, and this is going to be really hard for Neeb to deal with. He's got 2 Zealots here. Yes, he still has a decent Marine ball, but he's down to 25 SCVs, 27 SCVs. Yes, he has mules. But Neeb has 53 probes, and that number's going to go up more. He's on 3 bases. He's got 3 Nexuses, and he's got Chrono Boost. It's definitely easy. So if this Marine ball doesn't deal much damage here, it's not really going to be able to pull the boys again. Not going to be any SCVs backing this up. Or will there? No, he's literally taking everything now. This is GuMiho's absolute last chance here. But with 1 tank, dealing with these 14 Zealots is not going to be easy with SCVs and Marines. Especially when these Phoenixes pick up the tank. This tank's not going to get much done. Unless Neeb really stuffs up and just wanders all those Phoenixes in to die. These Zealots poking around. Get Marines, Stim. SVs come in. Phoenix is picking up Marines here, rather than the tank. They are all going to go down, which is not ideal for him, but he manages Not many Marines left, but there's not much here left for the Protoss either. But he should have enough here. If he pulls some probes, he can afford to do that. Against, considering how little Neeb has going on behind this. And there's 1 medevac, there's 10 Marines, 3 SCVs, and that's game. 1-0 to Neeb. On to game 2 now. Neeb starting in the top of Moondance. GuMiho the bottom. He hasn't sent a worker out immediately yet, so that's a good start. We'll, not going to see any more proxy shenanigans at this point, I don't think. And with how easily Neeb held that off and just crushed all the cheese play out of GuMiho last game. Not entirely surprised to see him go, alright, let's try the macro out. See if I can do it. And both of them opening pretty standard here so far. Both of them getting gateway / barracks before Expo. No, nothing completely ridiculous on the economy. But we'll just have to see how it all goes, because I think we all expected more out of GuMiho. I know Neeb is one of the best that it comes to, but I mean, this is HomeStory Cup. It is the most gamer of tournaments. We're here to see the upsets, see the people who might not have the best success on the bigger stages, but we want to see these top guys get caught napping. We want to see them go down to weird builds and timings, and sometimes I didn't expect you to macro games. As both sides are picking up their expos. At some point, something will happen in this game. Not yet, though. GuMiho builds the 1 Marine required to make sure he hasn't been proxy pyloned. Neeb's just saying, I don't believe there's a proxy Rax back there. And I can respect that. I can respect just going, he won't do it again. Especially after I barely scouted him in the first game and held it off. Concussive shells first here is an interesting choice. Gonna build some Marauders to pump that out. So it'll be interesting to see how those go. The Adepts are not gonna find it very easy to get away from slow shell Marauders. Although they can do it. Shades are not affected by slow shells, by concussive shells. And this is actually going to finish up. It's attacking this Marine is running for his life here. Takes a hit from that Marauder. And decides that actually the back of the base looks much more comfortable. However, GuMiho says, stop right there. You're not allowed to go anywhere. As he will eventually get back to where this Marine and Marauder are fighting. Kill 1 Adept. And they're going to chase down this Shade if he goes back to it. He does, but he's going to get out of range of that. But this Marine and Marauder continue to push across. And there's not much on this side of the map. Just a Stalker and an Adept that's on about half health. But are they going to be... They finish off the Marine naturally, but... And yeah, this Marauder goes down. Adept takes a little bit more damage. Stalker doesn't take any. However, 2 Marauders, that's a bit of a problem. 1 Stalker goes down. Keeping the Marauder alive for now. As they... Oh, does get it. But loses both the Stalker and the Adept in the process. And I know which end of that trade I'd rather be on. As... This Stalker can probably kill this Marauder now. If it can... Okay, I'm not sure why he turned around there. I suppose it would have been chased down eventually. Stalkers are pretty quick. Pretty quick units. And Widowmine makes his appearance. Bunker at the front. It's a little bit worried about those Stalkers just coming across the map. He doesn't have enough Marines and Marauders to deal with that at the moment. Doesn't have a tank yet. He's still only building the tech lab. He's about to get a medevac, as that picks up a Widow Mine. But that's only going to get you so far against Blink Stalkers. Especially if you get noticed halfway across the map. This medevac's going to try and get away. He's boosting away, but it just gets blinked on top of and goes down. And now the Stalkers are going to start poking away at the bunker. A few more Marines and Marauders now, and a Marauder now. That's probably enough to hold this back as the SCV dashed into shut the door on that bolt that was coming into him, and bolt then bounced off the door. It's not exactly clear how or why that works, but Marauder and Marine in the bunker, that's not going to be comfortable to attack into. And if he could see this high ground right now, he would also feel that the high ground's not very comfortable to jump into. That siege tank just takes a few shots. Wants to try and go around, but the Marines jump on him, and that's a Warp Prism and 4 Stalkers. That hurts. Gonna try and gets an SCV, but is he gonna get these Stalkers out? That's a lot of Stim Marine Marauder, and with concussive shells, picks up a Stalker. I mean, you got 2 SCVs. Not the best in the world. Observer coming in now. Sees that tank in an absolute nightmare of a spot to deal with. 3 Stim Marines run back into his base. It looks like he noticed the Observer, but wasn't able to... Oh, here he comes. Or the Stalkers blink into the range of the tank, take down the medevac, take down a few Marines. That wasn't the best trade in the world there, and still loses the Observer. Those Stalkers just, they can't fight that. But they can force these medevacs to use up all of their energy, which does help. It does help. But still, he's got 6 Stalkers against a tank, 2 Marauders, 11 Marines, 2 medevacs. They can run around, they can be annoying, but they can't fight that for the time being. Even if they do pick up a couple of SCVs that were building the depots. But now DTs have warped in. These guys are running in. Now these can do a bit of damage. There's 2 in the main, there's 2 in the expansion. 2 in the expansion are going to get taken down. 2 in the expansion are going to get taken down. These DTs taking the add-ons. Now they're turned around for some SCVs. They're gonna... Is this one going to escape? Yes, he does. Just runs about 2 pixels beyond the edge of that scan. Oh, another DT warped in. That scan forces another... That's a 3rd scan from these DTs. And there's another DT here in the main. There is a missile turret to help deal with him, as the Marines fight off those Stalkers at the front. And life continues. This DT just being a real pain for this orbital, not really letting it do what it wants to. There's another DT in the main. Does walk into the range of the missile turret there and get taken down. This DT just... Every time that orbital lands, throws down another couple of hits on it, forces it to lift again. These Marines are running in. They're probably getting ready. Yeah, they're going to deal with him now. This orbital's finally allowed to have some peace. As... Oh, how many workers... 23 workers have got... Now, not all of these SCVs went down to those DTs. But I'd say there were at least 15 of them that did. And is he coming back for some more? I think there's enough missile turrets down now that that's probably not the best idea, especially with the supply depot. That can't really be snuck around now. So instead, he will warp in some zealots. Probably going to pick those straight back up. So what have we got building now? We've got Colossi, we've got Extended Thermal Lance, we've got Charge coming. And the other side, a couple of Liberators starting to pop out. Armory. There's got 1 attack at the moment. Ghost Academy coming out. That's going to be very important to deal with all of this Protoss. Let's just call them problems. There are other colourful words that some people might use, but we'll keep it friendly. We'll keep it friendly for now. As this warp prism loaded up with zealots. DT just standing outside the front door, wanting to make Neeb use another scan if he ever decides to move out, I guess. Or he could just be keeping a tab on this army. And he gets spotted and taken out. But that is another scan. That means that's not a mule. Sees that the army's moved out, drops the zealots into the main, but the army is back. It's going to chase off this war prism. War prism will escape, and Neeb's army decides not to move out across the map. He's got this pro patrolling over here. I'm not sure if that's to make sure that the attack doesn't come through, or if he's planning on taking a base there soon. Probably to look for an attack, because I imagine he'll take his 5th or 4th and a half, whatever you want to call it, over here. But he does have that 4th command center, 4th nexus, sorry, now, and GuMiho doesn't look like taking one anytime soon. He has recovered his SCV count, and he will have his mules to make up a bit more of that. But with all the scans he's been forced to throw down, not as big a deal as you'd think, and this Protoss Death Ball is potentially a problem. The Protoss Death Ball always is. You always have to be worried about it. That's why this Marine and this Widow Mine are standing at the front. Does get the Widow Mine hit off on those Zealots. As Disruptor is just going to say, one of those will be enough, thank you very much. Missile definitely doesn't want DTs running into his main. Builds that out the front. This army is a long way out of position right now. As picks off another Widow Mine. Notices this army coming back towards his main. He's been scanned, so he GuMiho will know he's coming. As these picks off a Disruptor, picks up, gets out of there after forcing the cancel. Still useful. Still useful. But it really feels like he's the one hiding in the corner, which is never the position you want to be in as Terran against Protoss. Never really a position you want to be in as Terran in any matchup. But Protoss that's allowed to build up, a Protoss is allowed to max out and start building a bank, is one that's going to warp in a large number of units as soon as the fight starts and just kill you with the second wave. Even if you somehow manage to deal with the Disruptors, deal with the Colossi. These Vikings are going to be a bit difficult to deal with. There's only 12 Stalkers on the field. There's still only 12 Vikings for now. As a matter of fact, he forces the army to group back up. Medevacs decide that maybe the main base isn't the best idea. Drops not the best at the moment. And this warp prism's going to be moving around as looks like he's going to be trying to multi-prong here as the army's getting ready to move him through a front door. Just about managed. Nope, never mind. Doesn't dodge that Widow Mine shot. Colossus move in. The Vikings are taking them out. Managed to hit right as the transfer happened. Sacrifices a few Zealots to his Disruptor there to hit a huge number of SCVs. And it's just going to try and push through the front here. This Colossus is about to go down. These Disruptors are way out in the open, but GuMiho just lets them get the hits. And Warp Prisms have forgot about. GuMiho's counterattack over here, getting cleaned up eventually by DT. Never mind, the scan goes down. But Neeb's just continuing to push in through the front door, and this will get cleaned up by reinforcements pretty soon, as will this. And whereas this is going to be a lot harder to deal with 4 Disruptors, those attacks are going to be off cooldown. Colossus, and doesn't get the cancel off up here, but I'm not sure he needs it. That's... the natural is gone. The pocket expansion only exists because of that bunker. The command center is going to make his way back out, but there's not much minerals left. The SCV count is down to 48 for GuMiho. And I'm not sure that's going to be... As a medevac gets caught out and shot down. You will get the Warp Prism here, and you got the DT, so that does help. Took a few shots at his tank there, which doesn't. Zealots run in. His Disruptors don't manage to get anything. Bosses goes down to the Viking, but now the Viking is being forgot about as all these medevacs are trying to get back into the main. They do manage to, but there's barely any units in them. There's 3 Marauders, 2 Ghosts over here, trying to build some Marines in his main, but there's no way he's going to be able to build enough to hold back these Disruptors if they really make a concerted effort. You can see just the Disruptor balls just forcing him back. If he pushes too far, the Stalkers are going to blink on top of his Marines. Yep, there's one of them gone. And outside the base, there's, what, 2 Ghosts, a few Marauders, and 5 Marines, along with SCVs. That's not going to be enough to do anything. Not against 7 Disruptors and about 20-odd Stalkers. Another DT just continuing to cause problems. Siege Tank will siege up on the high ground, and that's going to be a pain. Will manage to not get a Disruptor, because the other Disruptors force him back. Just pulls his Disruptors back, yeah, and that's game. GuMiho has no hope of pulling that one back now, and that makes it 2-0 Neeb. Hopefully GuMiho can pull this back and make a series out of it, but we'll have to see. On to game 3 now. GuMiho's going to need to pull something out of the bag here. Need Tropical Sacrifice. Probably one of the more standard maps here. Neeb's in the top right, GuMiho's in the bottom left, and gonna have to see what GuMiho's gonna do here, because game 1, he lost. He went for the cheese, couldn't make it work, ended up losing. Game 2, went for the macro game, and kind of got run over a little bit by Neeb. Took a little while, but yeah, Neeb just ran him over basically, so what are we going to see this game? Normal starts so far. Barracks from Neeb, Gateway, and a little bit of gas for Neeb, but double gas, so it's not going to be a quick expansion from GuMiho. Gotta wait for this SCV to finish before we see much of anything. I'm gonna guess there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 Reapers. Neeb gets his Nexus. GuMiho. Reaper. Command Center. Immediate supply depot. So he's gonna be waiting a hot minute before he gets that command center. Neeb on scouting out for expansion. It's for proxies. Doesn't see anything. Goes back home. He hasn't even looked on the other side of the map, so he's got absolutely no idea that this is going to be coming. At this point, anyway. Factory going down. Reaper starts making its way across the map. Few more SCVs coming out. I'm gonna guess... I'm not gonna make any predictions for what's happening in this game. It could go anywhere. Neeb seems far more worried about proxies than anything going on inside of GuMiho's base. And that's probably going to continue, considering... Okay, yeah, he got a Reaper out. This Reaper isn't faster than normal. So what's coming behind this Reaper that's the scary part? Neeb drops proxy pylon. So, what have we got building? Building Cyclone. Man Center. Oh, is he gonna... Doesn't have the Reaper for now. Is the shade? No, he's just going straight across the map. Gateway going down. Get the super pylon. Adept up here just to make sure that nothing happens up here. So he sends the Shade in. Oh, that, I don't think that was meant to finish. I think he got distracted by the Reaper there. Gonna lose that Adept, which is very much not ideal. Cyclone, tank following it up. He's got some SCVs coming. He's got his starport on the way. This expansion is going to be pretty late in comparison. Neeb is going to be able to warp in on the other side of the map soon. He's got a couple, going to be up to 3 gates and a Stargate. He has 1 Oracle out now. It's just going straight across the map. He's managed to dodge the Reaper and the Cyclone, which is not going to be great. Those Marines scare him off for now, and he's going to get cut off by this Cyclone. So that's yeah, that's a dead Oracle. Not sure what's going to happen in the second one here. A couple of Adepts. Got some Adepts now. Is he gonna just poking around? The Cyclone and Reaper. Gets the Reaper immediately. He's gonna get the Cyclone. Ooh, this is not going to go well for Neeb here. He does not have a lot of units to deal with this. He's got 3 Adepts, all of which are in GuMiho's base, and yes, that's going to cause some damage, but they're not going to be here to deal with this Cyclone. Okay, the Cyclone goes down, but he's still got a tank. He's still got a bunch of SCVs, bunch of Marines. They're going to be able to force their way in here. Tank's almost dead, but it is still alive, and that's the important thing. Shield battery overcharge going down. Tank is still alive. Getting repaired now. Viking. Shield battery overcharge has run out now. It's just on the regular overcharge. Manages. Gonna take down this Oracle now. He's got 2 tanks here now. Probes are getting pulled. Is it gonna be enough? It's 5 Marines and a Viking. And now now it's just sieging it down. It's got Oracle and a Stalker and some probes. I don't think that's gonna be enough to deal with this. Gonna lose a gateway here. It's only warped in a Zealot. This gateway's unpowered now. It's got a second shield battery, but that shield battery overcharge is got on cooldown for another 10 seconds. And even so, there's just not enough units. Down goes Neeb. GuMiho keeps it alive. 2-1 now. Game 4 on Inside and Out now. GuMiho's got to keep it going here. It's going to be hard. Going to be hard, but hopefully he can keep it going and push us on to Game 5. But he caught Neeb napping in that last game. I'm going to have to see if that happens again. Neeb definitely thought he was the one in the driver's seat, but that tank Marine push just came through before he really had much of anything. He'd managed to keep some of those Adepts alive and back at the base. He might have been able to do something with it, but getting caught in the middle of the map like that meant that they just couldn't get anything done. Despite GuMiho trying to force his way through the shield battery overcharge, which probably wasn't ideal, just wasn't able to put together enough units to force him back. Regardless, another standard opening here, as this time Neeb, having had enough of not realizing what was happening, starts to poke in, sees the expansion, sees the barracks finish. So that's all he really needs to see. I mean, from that timing, he knows the gas came down. He knows everything that's happening back here. He knows he has his own expansion going down. No, he doesn't need to do anything fancy. Puts the Cybercore down here just to close up the back of the base a little bit. I mean, you can't exactly reap a wall off on this map. It's not going to work out too well for you. Probes. Finishing off his saturation here. Getting his Adept out. No Reaper on the way. Just a couple of Marines at the front. Got some Nexus. Almost finished now. It's immediately starting his Robo. And that's about it for the moment. Factory going up on the other side. More gas. Bunker at the front for GuMiho, so he's obviously a little bit nervous about some sort of Stalker Adept play. It has caused problems for him so far. But we'll have to... Don't think that that immediate Robo doesn't point too much out in terms of immediate push, but we will have to see. The Adept, yep, sensing the shade. Sees the Marines, sees the bunker. Decides maybe not. And, yeah. Just pokes around at these Marines a little bit. Doesn't spot the Hellion there. GuMiho managed to get that out of the way. Gonna send that around the side now. I do not believe that has been spotted. It's not gonna be the biggest shock in the world. I mean... The more surprising thing is that it didn't come in on a medevac more than anything, the way this series has gone. But, getting immediate Robo Bay. Warp Gate just finishing up now. And I don't think this Hellion's going to be able to do too much with these two Adepts here. So he's just going to have a run around, see what he can spot. Observer heading into the main now. Sees the barracks. Sees a bunch of Marines. Spots the other barracks. Sees all the Marines and decides to leave. I think GuMiho had a pretty good idea that that was coming in. Just didn't have a scan at the right time. And didn't poke far enough into the base to be able to guarantee the kill. Because the last thing you want to do is throw out the scan and not kill the observer, because that just feels bad. He's got his spotting up. He can see the bunker. He sees the gas coming up. Getting his third. Got a warp prism with a couple of disruptors in it. We will have to see how this goes. So he's got two disruptors. Again, the Colossus behind it. The Hellion and Adept just had a poke at each other. They're continuing to poke. I think he's doing that as much to disrupt as anything. Manages to get a few SCVs there and gets out before the Marines get in. 6 workers killed there. That's an effective first drop, and GuMiho's putting down the missile turret immediately, and he's going to have to keep his eye on things. These disruptors are going to be a massive pain, because if nothing else, they can... Whoop. Picks off the tank. And backs off. She's going to be able to force GuMiho to pay a lot of attention at home back here. So he's put out the Marines here. That's going to prevent anything happening there. But he just flies into the middle of the base. That's brave, but he manages to get out. That looks like that could have gone very pear-shaped for a second there. As that Marine chose death. This Marine looks like it's going to do the same thing. GuMiho poking out towards a third now. Loads up a medevac. Marine stimming, trying to find these disruptors. Drops them down and... Gets one of the Marines. That's it. Okay, with all of this happening, I don't think this 2 Colossi, 2 Disruptors. I think that can handle that, and even these Medivacs. They're able to force the army not to move across the map, but because they're there, that means they aren't at home. 4 Zealots now. Marines drop out, kill the edge of the base pylon, and are they... Nope, they get out. They get the pylon, and they get out. I've got Blink yet? No Blink, just... is it? I can never remember if that one's Observer Speed or... you kind of have a look at it. I can never remember if that one's Observer Speed or Warp Prism Speed. It's got the... Oh, this Colossus is trying to walk to his depth here, but GuMiho not paying enough attention to pick it off there as these Marines running away, forced back as these 4 Zealots are... Well, the workers killed speaks for itself here, I think, and he's about to just moves over to the natural. So many workers going down. He gets another massive warp in. The units are gonna drop out now, but that's a lot of damage done. That is a lot of damage done, and the army now walks in the front door. As Colossi, yeah, disrupt. Oh, that's another big hit. Yeah, that's game. There's no coming back from that. Neeb takes the series pretty comfortably, to be perfectly honest with you. That seemed pretty sloppy from GuMiho there. But, well, Neeb moves on to the semi-finals, the upper bracket. Thank you for watching.